Chapter 688, Preparations. As Lumion heard his heartbeat, a palm reached out from the open door of the black ancient tomb. The palm showed no signs of decay or yellow bandages. Its surface was covered in gold, shimmering with a mystical hue under the dim crimson moonlight. Upon seeing the golden palm, Lumion felt an invisible force compress his soul, instantly severing its connection to his body. Immediately after, he realized his body had transformed into a cold, solid wall, preventing his spirit from spreading or being controlled by his consciousness. At that moment, Lumion's soul felt trapped in a cage, unable to escape. He could only see limited scenes through his eyes and hear relatively loud voices with his ears. Everyone present turned into statues, frozen in place. Faced with this situation, Lumion suddenly recalled a saying: "The body is a cage for the heart, and the world is a cage for the body." In the stillness, the only person still moving was Hisoka Twainaku. The golden mask on his face emitted a hazy glow as he swiftly approached the black ancient tomb and the golden palm extending from it. Although Lumion couldn't move or use his abilities, his soul was merely imprisoned. It didn't affect his thoughts. Seeing that Hisoka Twainaku was almost unaffected by the golden palm, Lumion quickly deduced several things. There's a high likelihood the gold Hisoka seized from Devise, the gold mine city, was used on the cold corpse in the black ancient tomb. The item he obtained from the Noise family's demon is likely the golden mask he now wears. The former was an attempt to revive the cold corpse. It's equivalent to Franca's mention of creating a complete body. The latter ensures Hisoka can approach the target unaffected after the cold corpse's resurrection and achieve a certain goal. Did Hisoka once plan to use this to control the cold corpse and attain demigod-level strength? When I killed him in the real world, did the him in the dream attempt to resurrect through this? Yes, Hisoka's wraith power comes from the same source as the cold corpse. Perhaps there's a way to make the corpse believe he's its original spirit and accept his lead. Based on the information I've gathered and what just transpired, humans who have received the boon of the black ancient tomb and the cold corpse can open the tomb without waking the corpse. To awaken it, an intruder must be bestowed with immortality by an invisible figure, ascend to godhood, and enter the ancient tomb. And intruders will only be attacked by invisible figures without the Dream Festival's bestowed guides. It's best for an intruder to remain lucid. How did Hisoka know outsiders would participate in the Dream Festival this year and arrive at the Black Ancient Tomb? He didn't have such a plan to begin with. That's because he didn't know he was going to die. If he can't complete his plan during this year's Dream Festival, the dream projection will completely dissipate in the next few months, causing him to lose his last hope of revival. The involvement of outsiders was a pleasant surprise for him. No, it's too much of a coincidence. Riza's rushing over can be explained by his discovery of me investigating the Dream Festival and his worry that he wouldn't have a chance to obtain what he wants after this year. But why did Ivoldsta coincidentally come to this primitive forest to investigate something? Why did two Beyonders, who can remain lucid in the special dream, arrive just before the Dream Festival began? Moreover, why did the Rose School of Thought send someone to Matani in the last few months of the year to gather detailed day-to-day information? Hisoka Twainaku originally planned to complete his plan during this year's Dream Festival. He deliberately leaked some information and clues to attract different factions of interest. The information these factions received wasn't detailed enough. They had no choice but to dispatch personnel in advance to conduct the corresponding investigations or bribe members of Matani's patrol teams. This may very well be the truth, a truth that doesn't rely on coincidence. The only thing Hisoka didn't anticipate was his demise before the Dream Festival began. Now, the Dream Festival is his last and only hope for resurrection. If he fails to achieve his plan, he will die completely after today. No wonder he's so secretive about Tizamo despite being honest about everything else in the dream. Hisoka is truly a cunning devil skilled at manipulating people's hearts. If he hadn't been bent on killing me and his identity had given him a good opportunity to choose to stay in Port Pylos, he wouldn't have been easy to kill. Yes, If I had played by the book and lacked the goodwill of a high-ranking entity, I might have died at his hands. The demon of the Noise family also has designs on the cold corpse in the Black Tomb and wants to use the Dream Festival. Therefore, when Hisoka mentioned the Dream Festival in his dream, he was immediately attacked by the shadow. Among those present, who is the demon's minion? Or could it be that the demon from the Noise family hasn't arrived yet and wants to wait until the end, when the situation is clear, before taking action and completing the harvest? If it's just a dream projection, without the main body's cooperation, there should be a huge loophole in Hisoka's plan. Where is the loophole? Trapped in his body, Lumion couldn't stop Hisoka. He watched helplessly as Hisoka ran to the open door of the Black Ancient Tomb. Wait! Since the Black Ancient Tomb reminds me of the Samaritan women's spring, I can try that method. Lumion acted without hesitation, focusing his attention on his spirit body's right hand. Alistair Tudor's remnant aura didn't just permeate his body. And the Blood Emperor was closely linked to the Samaritan women's spring. Wearing a golden mask, Hisoka's body began to etherealize uncontrollably. Just as he was about to grasp the hand of the corpse protruding from the Black Ancient Tomb, he suddenly sensed an extremely terrifying, frenzied, and violent aura appearing behind him. It soared into the sky explosively, sweeping through the surroundings. The crimson moon's glow dimmed, and Hisoka, Twanaku's body instinctively stiffened, trembling violently. Splash! An illusory sound of water echoed from the Black Ancient Tomb, and the golden palm seemed to be dragged back into the tomb by some unknown force. The feeling of their souls being imprisoned within their bodies dissipated. Lumion hurriedly halted the dissipation of the Blood Emperor's aura. Although Amandina, Camus, Divajo, and the others instinctively felt fear, the confinement of their spirits and fixed line of sight prevented them from discovering the source of the aura that conquered everything. Ignoring the search for the origin of the terrifying aura, the fierce-eyed Ivoldsta followed his instinctive desire and retrieved an item from his hidden pocket. It was a palm-sized rag doll, dressed in a black Gothic dress entwined with eerie vines. It had long golden hair and blood-red eyes. The doll was sinister. Just the sight of it made Lumion's flesh crawl beneath his skin. Thud, thud, thud. The heartbeat in the Black Ancient Tomb intensified, becoming resounding. Beside the tomb door, Hisoka Twanaku felt a chill run down his spine, as if targeted by an evil being. Instinctively, he recalled something. Years ago, gravekeepers had found a half-withered evil heart near the Black Ancient Tomb. The gravekeepers believed that the ancient corpse in the tomb had been lost due to some mutation. After all, the characteristics of its power were the same, and the levels seemed similar. Therefore, they placed the heart back into the tomb. Just a moment ago, the long-dead heart had begun to beat, but now it beat stronger and faster. Not far from Ivoldsta, Riza also made a move. He produced a mask. The mask, also made of gold, bore a striking resemblance to the one worn by Hisoka. Varying shades of white and black paint adorned the eyes and face. The difference between the two golden masks was that the one in Riza's hand was darker, as if touched by death. Then, Riza produced a human skull carved from crystal. He placed the dark golden mask on the crystal skull's face. A frigid wind gusted, engulfing the crystal skull in a massive vortex. The crystal skull, adorned with the golden mask, levitated as if it had grown an invisible body made of wind. An intense coldness spread in all directions, condensing a layer of frost on the ground. The man named Divajo reached behind his head and grasped something in his hair. With a sudden tug, he ripped off his skin, along with his dark gray suit. Divajo took on a different appearance. He had black hair, brown eyes, a cold expression, and high cheekbones. He was in his 30s or 40s, dressed in a white shirt and black pants. He flipped the human skin in his hand, revealing dense, dizzying blood embroidery beneath. Divajo opened his mouth and spat out mouthfuls of blood, emitting a strong sulfuric smell. The blood protruded from the human skin, forming a green-eyed man in a dark gray suit. With a playful smile, the man approached the Black Ancient Tomb. Lumion quickly scanned the area, his eyelids twitching 3 times. He couldn't help but criticize, Do you all possess godhood-level powers that you can utilize, although they all seem to be one-time use? Are you bullying me for not having any? Despite Lumien's criticism, he quickly recited an honorific name in ancient Hermes. It was Madam Magician's honorific name. However, it failed to penetrate this special and hidden dream. Lumien wasn't dejected. His goal wasn't the black ancient tomb, nor was it the cold corpse or its beating heart. Now that he knew the whereabouts of Hisoka's gold, there was only one thing he wanted to do. Eliminate Hisoka's dream projection, take away the golden mask, and let him perish completely.